Hey folks, welcome to our recap video for chapter 20 where we identify issues for research. Like always, this chapter overview is not a substitute for reading the chapter itself. It's a very short and sweet chapter, so do take a moment to at least skim through it if you're not going to read through it in depth. But it is a really good chapter that will help you kind of get started on the process of your research project for 162. So here we go. I'm going to turn on the laser pointer and there we go. So the textbook opened with the concept that all writing is autobiography. And basically that means that, if you know that an autobiography is an account of one's life, when they say that all writing is an account of one's life, they're trying to say that it's important to find connections between yourself and what you are writing. Because when there is that connection, you relate to it, you're more engaged in writing about it and talking about it. So that's why all writing is essentially autobiography. It's better to write about a topic that you are interested in, about issues that are important or meaningful to you. Of course, especially for your research project, you might be tempted to pick something very easy because it sounds like the best option, but I promise you, if you're not connected to it or invested in what you are writing, you're going to struggle with the writing and research process. So even if something seems difficult, but you are interested in it, or if it's relevant to you in your life, your personal experiences, the concerns that maybe you have about the world, those are the better issues, better topics that you should look into pursuing. Once you've found your topic for research, it's time to craft a research proposal. And this is a proposal that is going to talk about why you are picking what you are picking. And the reader of such a proposal is going to determine whether or not this project is valid or appropriate to continue. This definitely relates to the workplace because there will be times when you need to propose an activity or an idea. It does not matter what field that you are working in, especially like if you're in a science field or an engineering field or something like that. You may need to propose a solution to a problem or propose the start of a project. Or if you are, thinking about the like how to, for example, cure cancer, and you have some solutions for that or some experiments that you would like to try. All of that kind of floats into this realm, this idea of research and proposing such a research and then unfolding that research project process. So what goes into a research proposal specifically? You've got to make sure that you include a working thesis. I understand that it can be challenging to develop a working thesis for a project that you have not yet written, or that something that it's just like something that you're thinking about, but you want to include a working thesis that gets you started on that research process. You have to keep in mind that the working thesis you start with is not going to be the thesis that you keep in your final draft. Your thesis can, will, and should change over time as you continue and develop your research. You're going to have some aspect of a plan where you describe how you're going to develop your argument, such as mentioning what details you're going to discuss, maybe some questions that you are looking to answer through your research. Think of it like an outlining process. You're going to need to provide a survey of research, and this is a section where you're describing the research that you've already collected or the kind of research that you are looking to seek. And this could be anything from looking at past research done in the form of scholarly articles, or even conducting your own research like through surveys or interviews, things like that. And then you have the discussion of audience. So it's always important to consider who you are writing for. And this does not pertain to just your instructor or just your peers or a combination. You want to consider who is going to benefit from reading your work outside of the classroom. Who's going to be interested in what you are trying to prove through your research project? So, research projects are often the longest and most involved writing assignments that students encounter in college comp courses. They're asking you guys to do a lot. You have to synthesize, you have to do a summary and response, analysis, critical thinking. You also have to make sure that you are incorporating source engagement skills on top of your research and research related skills. Don't forget MLA citations or APA if you're working in an APA field. So that right there wraps up chapter 20. It was short and sweet. If you guys have any questions on research projects or research proposals, please do let me know. Otherwise, I wish you the best of luck as you work on writing out your research proposal for hour 162.